In 2023, the Golden State held the unfortunate title of one of the most expensive states to live in, with a cost of living exceeding the national average by a staggering 52%. This means that everyday expenses like housing, groceries, and transportation can drain your wallet significantly compared to other parts of the country. California also boasts the highest state income tax rate in the nation, reaching 13.3% for high earners. Additionally, sales taxes and property taxes add to the overall burden. What is the average cost of utilities in California? The cost of living in California is high, and utility bills are no different. Take electricity, for example. According to the Save on Energy November 2023 report, the average electric bill in the United States is $142.73. In California, this is $159.64, which puts California 42 in the national cost rankings. The average monthly cost for water is between $77 and $84. The average monthly cost for electricity is $160. The average monthly cost for gas is $409. The average monthly cost for cable and internet starts from $9.99. What are the average grocery and food costs in California? According to the Bureau of Economic Analysis, the average Californian spends just over $3,865 on non-restaurant food a year. This is $322.08 per person per month. When you consider the average family of 4, this amounts to $1,288 per month on groceries. Milk is cheapest in Los Angeles at 30 cents, followed by Santa Clara at 31 cents, and Sacramento at 32 cents. San Francisco has the most expensive milk at 39 cents. Bread is cheapest in Sacramento at $1.10, followed by Los Angeles at $1.02. Santa Clara has the most expensive bread at $1.24, followed by San Francisco at $1.20. Apples are cheapest in Santa Clara at 85 cents, followed by Sacramento at $1.74. Los Angeles has the most expensive apples at $1.37, followed by San Francisco at $1.94. Potatoes are cheapest in Santa Clara at 39 cents, followed by Los Angeles at 54 cents. Sacramento has the most expensive potatoes at 74 cents, followed by San Francisco at 90 cents. Lettuce is cheapest in Sacramento at 53 cents, followed by Los Angeles at 39 cents. Santa Clara has the most expensive lettuce at 60 cents, followed by San Francisco at 66 cents. How much does transportation cost in California? California stretches from the Mexican border along the Pacific coast for nearly 900 miles. But whether you're traveling between destinations across the state, or even within the same city, travel costs can be significant. The annual transportation expenditure for a family of 4 in California ranges from $5,316 to $14,058, depending on the number of adults working and the number of children in the family. Families with 1 adult and no children have the lowest expenditure, at $5,316. Families with 2 adults and 2 children have the highest expenditure, at $14,058. Families with 1 adult working tend to spend more than families with 2 adults working, regardless of the number of children. How much will I pay in tax in California? The state income tax amount for single filers and married or registered domestic partners filing separately in California for tax year 2023 ranges from 1% of your income to 13.3% of your income, depending on your taxable income. For taxable income between $0 and $10,999, the tax amount is 1% of your income. For taxable income between $11,000 and $23,942, the tax amount is $100.99 plus 2% of the amount over $10,099. Between $23,943 and $37,788, the tax amount is $377.85 plus 4% of the amount over $23,942. Between $37,789 and $52,455, the tax amount is $931.69 plus 6% of the amount over $37,788. between $52,456 and $66,295. The tax amount is $1,811.71 plus 8% of the amount over $52,455. For taxable income between $66,296 and $338,639. The tax amount is $2,918 plus 9.3% of the amount over $66,295. For taxable income above $677,276. The tax amount is $65,835.52 plus 13.3% of the amount over $677,275. How much does childcare cost in California? By 2025, California plans to introduce a free universal preschool program for all 4-year-olds, considerably reducing childcare costs for local parents. The annual childcare expenditure for a family in California ranges from $0 to $37,037, depending on the number of adults, children, and working adults in the family. Families with one adult and no children have no childcare expenditure. Families with one adult and one child have an annual childcare expenditure of $12,346. Families with 2 adults and no children have no childcare expenditure if one adult is working, and an expenditure of $37,037 if neither adult is working. Families with 2 adults and one child have no childcare expenditure if both adults are working, and an expenditure of $12,346 if one adult is working. Families with 2 adults and 2 children have no childcare expenditure if both adults are working, and an expenditure of $24,692 if one adult is working. Families with 2 adults and 3 children have an expenditure of $37,037, regardless of whether one or both adults are working. What are the housing costs in California? The most expensive city is San Francisco, with an average home cost of $1,426,481. The least expensive city is Bakersfield, with an average home cost of $380,000. Long Beach has an average home cost of $785,000. Long Beach, $785,000. Irvine, $1,376,990. Oakland, $907,500. Riverside, $537,523. Los Angeles, $896,542. San Francisco, $1,426.48. Sacramento, $531,642. San Diego, $895,660. San Jose, $1,164,261. Anaheim, $802,500. Fresno, $358,981. Bakersfield, $380,000. Santa Ana, $759,500. Stockton, $440,000. Modesto, $430,000. Chula Vista, $729,000. Fremont, $1,260,000. San Bernardino, $500,000. Santa Clarita, $730,000. Moreno Valley, $505,000. How much does healthcare cost in California? The annual healthcare expenditure for a family in California ranges from $3,136 to $9,486, depending on the number of adults, children, and working adults in the family. Families with one adult and no children have the lowest expenditure, at $3,136. Families with 2 adults, one working, and either one or 2 children have the highest expenditure, at $9,486. Having one adult working instead of 2 adults generally leads to higher healthcare expenditure, regardless of the number of children.